Yo, when I spit bars in a rave, man, I go hard like Santan.
Welcome and good evening to another Touchline Fracker pods with New Spurs order underneath the Touchline Fracker banner. I'll be your host tonight, X-Pac, and I'll be joined by three lovely guests. First up, we've got Goldberg. How you doing, man?
I'm great, man. I'm great. It's a good day, man. It's a good day. It's a good moment to be a Spurs fan, man. Champions League draw done. The generation next, come on. DX, the generation next. But anyway, it's a good time to be a Spurs fan, man, especially after the Champions League draw, which I'm sure we'll touch on. But yeah, I'm glad to be here, bro.
And Asa joins us from the West Coast. How you doing?
I'm good. Long-time watchers. When I've been here before, there's been a running joke that I don't know which member of the NWO that I identify with. After some due consideration, I went with Dennis Rodman because he's very infrequently part of the thing, but he was there, and he's the weird American who's associated. So, what's up, y'all?
There we go. And we got Scott Hall, man. How you doing?
Hey, it's a new season. Started off all right. You know what I'm saying? It's good spirits right now. And to be fair, a lot of dead pieces are getting shifted. So, listen, I'm a happy man.
Yeah, and so you should be. 3 games, 7 points so far. Unbeaten, and we obviously just come off the game against Wolves, who we dropped points at home to last season. They'd beaten us 3 times at their last 4 visits to the lane. We had 2 changes to starting lineup. We had Perisic come in for Sessegnon, so he got a nice well-earned rest, and Sanchez coming in for the injured Romero. Who wants to start off that first half?
Boy,
It
wasn't good. It wasn't good. I can't lie. Sitting there watching that, we started off all right, man. First, I'd say probably like the first 15 odd minutes we were good. Well, I say good. We were okay. We looked as if we wanted to try and go at Wolves. Possession was shared evenly. We were trying, and then I felt like from like minute 20s, 25 onwards, it felt like Wolves were the home side, honestly. Like they had us camped in our half, like they were beating our flimsy ass press with ease because our press was pathetic in the first half. They were popping it around us with ease. They used and moved the ball much better than we did, and they had way more attempts than us. They finished the half with like 12 attempts, and we only had 1. And our 1 attempt came right at the end of the first half, courtesy of a delicious Perisic cross and a good header from Harry Kane. So it wasn't a good it wasn't a good half for us. We were really poor.
You want to talk about your boy Huijsen?
He wasn't bad. He wasn't bad in the first half. I thought Bentancur, if anything, was worse. I think Bentancur was probably doing. He was in the first half. I think in the first half, I thought he had a really poor half, man. Like the things that people criticize Højbjerg for in the first half, Bentancur was doing that. He was just chasing lost causes and leaving gaps in the midfield. And I felt Wolves, to their credit, tactically, where they had the 3 midfielders in the middle that were all comfortable in possession, and I even say 3 because I think Matthias Nunes was probably playing further up, but their shape in the first half in possession made it very difficult for us to sort of get the ball. And yeah, like it just wasn't good. Like the ball, like even from playing out from the back as well, the passing was just so poor, man. Like Ben Davies flopping basic like 10-yard passes to Perisic on that left-hand side. Dyer playing hopeless diagonals to nobody. Sanchez is Sanchez. We know he's not good in possession, but yeah, like it was just very careless. Emerson Royale, even a couple of times, he tried to dribble and just lose the ball. Like we were just so careless with the ball. And Wolves, in comparison, were just much better with the ball, and it made for them finishing the half the way they did. So yeah, yeah, I think it wasn't a pleasurable first half to watch at all. It was quite poor, and I think the only thing you could say that we did well in the first half is that we, at the very least, restricted Wolves to sort of long shots or low quality chances. Like we didn't really give them the opportunity to create like high quality chances against us. But I guess the counter argument could be better attacking players, better cutting edge in their team could have probably fashioned those situations. So, and even up top as well, I felt the movement was just so. Son was not running at all. Like I don't know what was what within that game, but bro, even tracking back and making those runs off the ball, he was just poor, man. It was just very very poor. It was a very very out of sorts first half, even by our estimations as well. People will criticize Spurs for, oh yeah, like they don't play well, and I think they lie because there are plenty of games where we actually play some good stuff, but you have to be real. In the first half against Wolves, we were just bad.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they did their thing like in the middle, like Podence managed to tuck in. Nori ended up coming over. He was attacking a lot, pinning Kulusevski back a bit. A lot of tactical fouls from them, which they managed to get away with, which probably would have been given last season, but I guess the referees are being more lenient this year. But there was definitely a few which went unpunished, in particular from Neves for me. And even as bad as Sanchez actually was on the ball, which he was, he ended up, he ended up playing quite a few blind passes up the field. He was actually able to cover us defensively really well at times. So yeah, fair play. That summed up the first half for me, as well as Son not quite being himself. Sorry, Asa, go.
I was just gonna say, like, I think that the first half was a testament to the fact that when Romero's not out there, different people have to do different things. And so people were put in positions to be unsuccessful because, you know, instead of Ben Davies being able to play in that sort of get forward a little bit role, he had to be a little more back, and Dyer had to start playing those passes that normally Romero would play, because Sanchez is not going to play those. You know, and also, like, obviously the 3 versus 2 midfield was always going to be problematic with a certain Viking there. You know, but the point is that, like, in that first half, you know, they didn't give up any stupid chances. Like, for example, like there are other London sides that, you know, maybe played the ball back and gave up stupid goals for no reason because their goalie is bad in possession. Babs is Babs in the chat? I think he knows what I'm talking about. But sometimes, like, a goalie doesn't know what to do with the ball at their feet, and they'll give up a goal. And Spurs don't do stuff like that. So there's something to be said for not making the big mistake, which under Conte doesn't seem to happen all that often.
Fair play. Is there anything you would have changed with that in mind, with Sanchez being on that right instead of Romero? What would you have changed for the second half?
So I think that the play was obviously to instead of trying to flip the ball wide to Perisic, which seemed to be the plan in the first half, you know, and asking Romero or asking Emerson to do anything coherent. We'll talk, Babs. I think that the play is obviously to go sort of the plan. I don't need it, Tobes. I don't need it. All right.
For context, you might have to explain that the Jollof story.
So guys, in the touchline, so we have a touchline driver chat that's normally meant to be used for like stuff that all the club pods should know and retweet and stuff like that. But we use it for banter, probably like, I'd say maybe a good 35-40% of times. And Asa decided that he would share his attempt at jollof rice and chicken. And if you see this photo, oh my God, what's a mess? It looked like risotto. It looked like
All right.
You said
Okay.
your rice was moist.
This is what happened. All right. Okay. So I followed it. I knew what I was doing, and I ran out of time to cook the damn tomatoes, and so it looked a lot lighter than it should have. It tasted good. The reviews were good. The look of it was not great. But like at the end of the day, like it was the people who ate the food were happy with it. The result was not great, but it was certainly effective. Unlike anything that Chelsea has done over the last year and a half. Babs.
I like that. I like that. I like that.
But
Well, I'll tell you
anyways,
this, yeah. Let's just put it this way: we cooked Asa for that pick more than he cooked his J Rice. I'll tell you that.
I don't need that, Tobes.
It's okay. Not all of us did. 'Cause I wouldn't have known what I was talking about if I tried. So.
It tasted delicious. I don't even care.
I'm gonna.
So the point is that I think the team like even when things don't go well, the lack of making the big mistake is something that's a true credit to Conte. And the way that you fix it, when your midfield's having problems, I can't use the word cooked anymore, apparently. But when the midfield's struggling, I think the play is that you do that thing that Harry Kane did last year so well, which is you just drop deep, and he becomes essentially that third midfielder. But the problem is that Sonny was not here, so it doesn't work when Sonny's playing the way that he was.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, going into that second half as well, yeah, you had some thoughts on the midfield in the first place. Going off that first half, how did you want Spurs to change it or tweak it in the second half?
I wanted Spurs to be complete, well, more complete than Asa's jollof rice, but that's for another day.
Why? All right, all right. I'm gonna send all of my cooking picks from now on. The chat is just gonna be Asa cooking picks from here on in. I made a beef shank you all would have killed for $24 at the restaurant. 20 pounds.
But with the second half, you see, the thing is, we got better in the second half. We really did. But it was one of those games where Wolves only looked good because they were shooting from far. They looked poor. They weren't great. They attacked, but ultimately their attacks amounted to nothing serious.
Create a single good opportunity, bro.
Yeah, like I can't name you a single opportunity that they created that I thought was outstanding. There was one moment, I think it was in the first half, where
at the end,
right at the end, where it hit the back of Sanchez. Listen, let me come back to this. That's where Sanchez pisses me off.
Exactly.
You can see the ball in flight. You want to do Donkey Kong duck my head, yeah, and let it hit the back of your head. Now players one-on-one with our goalkeeper.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Yeah.
Like, nah, that's nonsense. But second half, no, we definitely improved. Hoyson had a better second half. He doesn't get his name back. I told you, certain people don't get their name back till I see silverware in the armpits. The Mook has got 2 and 2, and he's not played well in these last 2 games. He really hasn't. But one man that has stunk for every single minute that he's been on the pitch over the last 2 games is Heung-min Son. Yeah, he's not my son. Yeah, like obviously biologically. Yeah, but
are you just calling him Heung-min now?
Yeah. If he was my son, yeah, I'd be cussing him like his own father, because something needs to change. My thing is, he's better than this. We know he's better than this. But what I've liked over the last 2 games, and what I definitely liked against Wolves, is we saw it wasn't going to plan with him. We finally got the goal, and Richie came on. And you could see he was trudging off, and he's like, head down, yeah, I haven't played well. But now there's that little element in our squad where it's like, listen, if after 60 minutes you're not doing your job, there's man on the bench waiting for you to come and take your place. And I think that level of fear has got us, to be honest with you, has got us through the last 2 games. Especially the Chelsea game. Coming off that game, we were fortunate to get a draw, but the change helped. And in this Wolves game, I think the fear of like, oh man, if I don't step it up in this second half, I might get subbed, led the players to play far better, because that second half, I think we had it. I knew that once we got a goal, I didn't feel like, Wolves were going to get back into it. It just felt like one of those games where we could hold out if we needed to, and we did.
Agreed.
Fair enough. So, yeah.
I think, sorry, go, Owen. I just want to add on to that. So the contrast in the first and second half was staggering. The second half was more like what we've seen the last couple of months, and reaffirmed to people why they shouldn't rule Spurs out so quickly. Like everyone in the first half telling me in chats, oh, Wolves should be battering you. And I'm thinking, how? Yeah, like they've played well. They've been much better than we have, but they've not created anything. And the minute we were talking at halftime, and I can't remember, in a WhatsApp chat to my friend's over gassing the thing, saying, "Oh yeah, like we look horrible here." I'm like, bro, relax. We're clearly not playing well. All we need is just a bit more work rate, and I promise you, this game it's going to be over for Wolves. And you saw the intensity in our play from minute 45 onwards. Like as soon as we came out, already we had 3-4 man camped in their box already. And we had, I can't even remember, we had one attempt in the first half, and we finished the game with 11 attempts. So that means we had 10 attempts in the second half. And out of the 10 attempts in the second half, we had like 8 or 9 in their box. So when you look at which team was applying more pressure, when you look at the quality of chances as well, when you look at XG, everything, all of those stats, there's no way you can come out of this game and tell me that Spurs didn't deserve the result. Okay, yeah, it wasn't convincing, but we did enough to win. We did enough to win. Like the pressing was much better. We were setting better traps for Wolves. And even when Bruno Lage as well, he threw everything he can to change the tide, and he couldn't. He tried to bring on Dendonka to try and shore up the defense, and they conceded 2 or 3 minutes later from a set piece. He tried to bring Adama to do his usual lube up his arms and try and run through the whole team. He got shut down. He tried to bring on Wang, got shut down. Tried to bring on Semedo on the left-hand side, got shut down. The only sub that actually made a little bit of an impact was Jimenez, and he was winning most of his aerial duels with Dyer. Fair enough, cool, but still didn't really get the opportunity to actually hurt us. So we did what we did. We did what we needed to do to win. And if Spurs had won that game 2-0, you wouldn't be thinking, "Oh wow, Wolves have been hard done here," because all the chances were coming our way.
Well, but no, I just want to just continue that second half tweak. I mean, Asa made a good point from the first half that he saw like obviously other players had to do different jobs because Romero wasn't in, and I saw Conte managed to tweak it in the second half. Emerson was coming infield a lot more, so he was obviously a lot more inverted, made up the numbers in the middle, as well as us having a higher intensity. And essentially now Gianni Vio's earning his bread now. Right, so
Yeah.
a lot of people were saying, I mean, the pundits were saying that Son's corner was poor.
No, it was
Which
deliberate.
actually was actually his only good action of the game. It was very, very deliberate. No?
So the thing is, I did a little bit more digging into pause. Whoa, big man, where are you going with that line? I did a little bit more investigating into the
What are you
whole.
digging out, bro?
Yeah, big man. We gotta reel it back in, bro. So yeah, at first I thought he was a set piece coach for both offensive and defensive plays. Turns out it's just offensive, which kind of makes sense because defensively, I think we're better than last season, but I don't think we're too trustworthy from set pieces. But offensively, I listen, especially while being in the stadium, I'm seeing hella movement in that box. Like we are causing teams. Granted, it's only been 2 teams so far. Well, 3 teams if you can include Southampton. But we are causing teams problems with our set pieces, which is not something we are renowned for at all. We're not that kind of club. If we can keep this up and add 10, 15 goals in just the Premier League alone from set pieces, that's a lot of goals that could lead to wins. You know, again, I think last season, I can't remember, other than the North London derby, I honestly cannot remember a set piece goal or a goal from a corner. I know there was probably like 2 or 3, but I can't remember one. and yet this season we've got two.
Watford and Arsenal off the top of my head last season.
Yeah, Watford.
Watford was the Davinson Sanchez goal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one
Yeah.
where he just stood like this.
Right at the end.
What an idiot. What an
There-
absolute idiot.
Andy's saying in the comments, Leicester at home.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Yeah,
I
Harry
seem to
Kane.
remember one against Leicester.
But do you
Harry
see what like how few and far between? Well, like we're struggling. Like
Right.
all of us
Yeah,
are doing
it's not
this.
regular. It's
Yeah,
not. We don't do it. We don't do it at a high enough clip that we can just remember. We can just remember all the goals.
Exactly. And so far, we've played 3 games this season. We've got two goals from set pieces, and one of them was a guaranteed winner. So, you know, long may it continue. I'm very happy with the set piece coach. It's good.
I think it's good to have. I mean, it doesn't hurt anything to have a guy who's devoted to a single part of the game that is so different than open play, and it's so essential. Like there's no reason not to do it, and you can already see it paying dividends. You know, whether and people are saying like, oh, Sonny, it got lucky, blah blah blah. You make your own luck, right? People were prepared for the action, which is what happens when you have a coach who's devoted to this.
Sorry, I need to address something that I've just seen in the comments. Andy Land. I'll read out the comment.
I wasn't even going to give this energy, but I think I know what you're talking about.
Am I the only Spurs fan
Yes.
who wants to go down to the Hey, Andy. Listen.
Welcome, Andy, by the way.
Listen. Andy.
This is Yao.
Andy. Let me tell you this now. I haven't done this in a long while because I've been a happy man. Yeah. But you are one comment away from making your way to the top of the stairs, and everybody knows exactly what that means. You don't want to be coming down here because you'd be kicked out of the stadium. Never make a comment like this in your life again. Yeah. We're in the Champions League. It's where we want to be. We want to be where the big boys play. That's why we're the NSO. That's why we are too sweet for life. Okay. Never do that again. What is Andy talking about? Drop that just to face Arsenal. Listen, if they can't compete with us to get into the big teams, the big leagues, that's on them. All right. I couldn't give a flying crap about those red and white wearing fools on the other side of North London. Really and truly, they should be from South London because they're from Woolwich. But that's for another day and another story.
I mean, I just don't know why we're discussing a club that's not playing serious European football. Like, what? Why are we talking about small clubs?
Because Andy came with that comment out of nowhere.
Furthermore, they've never won a European trophy, so that's the history of the Arsenal, I guess. But moving on.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know, right? What was I even going to say? Yeah, moving on. Obviously, we do have the Champions League draw after that unconvincing win. I only say I feel it is after that Wolves win anyway, because I know Tobes was saying it was unconvincing, and yeah, to a point it was, but we've still got gears to go through, right? We've still got Longley who can still contribute from the back in progressing play. We've still got Bissouma, who's arguably our best midfielder, still to start for us. So yeah, we still got gears to go through yet, as well as our 2 strikers actually hitting any kind of form. But yeah, onto the Champions League group draw. Obviously, Uncle Yaya niced us today. I wouldn't say it's an easy group, but yeah, what were your guys' initial thoughts on it? We drew Frankfurt as the number 1 seed, Marseille and Sporting Lisbon.
It's not an easy group, but it's a favorable group. Like, it's a favorable group across many fronts, right? We're playing against sides that will still give Spurs a game, and away from home especially, you wouldn't be shocked if Spurs lost one of these games, I would say. But it's also opposition that you can see Spurs getting enough points from to top the group, or at the very least go through. And I think that's the right sweet spot we want, right? We don't want teams where we know that like we're facing a real uphill struggle. And then I think the bonus, the value add here is the teams that have really, really good away atmospheres. So you've literally ticked like 3 boxes there. And when you compare it to the groups that we've had before, excluding our first group under Poch, we've always had giants in our groups. Under Harry Redknapp, we had Inter Milan, who had just won the Champions League. In the 17-18 season, we had Real Madrid and Dortmund. 18-19, we had Barcelona and Inter Milan. So this will be the first time, as I said, since Pochettino's first year in the Champions League, where we've actually had a group where, when you look at it, we're probably the strongest side there on paper.
No, you're being too soft. Yeah. I don't understand why you're being diplomatic. Listen, we should be topping that group. Yeah. Granted, the away games are not going to be easy, but we should be topping that group. But here's the problem. Here's the big problem with all of it. We've been here before. Tob said it correctly. We've been here before. Poch's first season in the Champions League. I think, if I'm correct, we got Monaco, Leverkusen, and CSK Moscow, and we finished third. We stunk. We went out straight into the Europa League and got knocked out by Genk in the following round. It was horrendous. Now, this time around, I think we should be far more better equipped. We should be able to deal with these teams away. But listen, the problem with Spurs is we could easily win all three of our home games and lose all three of our away games. Notoriously, we can be like that in Europe. Or we could punch up every single team in this group comfortably home and away. Like we actually have the team to do that. The problem is whether we will do that. That's where the issue is. Whether we will be capable of beating, say, Frankfurt home and away. Frankfurt away is going to be tough. You know, whether we have the capability of sport. I don't think Sporting Lisbon should be a tough away game. They're good, but I don't think they're defensively that good. I think the dark horse in this group, for me, would be it's actually Marseille. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm not saying like Marseille are particularly good, but I just feel like a team like Marseille in Europe, they probably will take it extremely serious than they would the league, because they know it's PSG and PSG's only. So they'll probably go all out, and their fans are going to be raucous. So that could be the real tough one, you know, going away to Marseille and trying to get 3 points there. But like I said, the group is very favorable in our hands. Like, if we don't top this group, that's our fault. You just have to hold your hands up. There would be no, we didn't play well. Nah, it's our fault. We should top this group.
I mean, I think this is one of those things where it's like, are you a serious club or are you not a serious club? And if Spurs are a serious club, they top this group. And look, like I'm not, you know, no disrespect to Lisbon or Marseille or Frankfurt, but you know, there's tiers to this, and these teams are not where we want our club to be. Now, if our club at that level, I guess we'll find out. But there's nobody on Marseille, there's nobody on Frankfurt, and there's nobody on Lisbon who troubles me, right? They've got good players. They've got players who can be a problem, but this isn't a situation where Spurs are going somewhere and they're saying, oh, well, chalk that up 3 points. You know, Marseille is a tough place to play. Go out and win. Be the team that we know you can be. You know, there's no excuses. No, oh, well, we've got 2 games a week. Blah, blah. I don't care. Go out, do the job.
I agree.
And that's what it is.
I agree.
Like there's just you know, excuses are not where we're at anymore.
Yep. I completely agree with Asa.
Have they done the draw for what's away and what's at home? Because I didn't.
Not yet. No, not yet. I think we'll know latest tomorrow, I think. But I agree with Asa, man. Like, it's a favorable time, man. If you had the opportunity, if you were told that you were going to get this group from the jump before the draw was made, you'd say, yes, I'll take this all day long. So it's one of them ones where it's like, yeah, like, go out and top the group. I think I'm looking at it now, and I think it will be disappointing if we don't top the group.
Yes, it will.
It will be disappointing if we don't top the group, and it will be catastrophic if we don't qualify. Simple.
Hey, if we don't qualify, I'm canceling my season ticket halfway through the season. I'm done. Listen, I'm not. You know
that happened with Poch in the season we finished second. That was disgrace. That was not on.
I was furious. That was at Wembley, wasn't it?
Yep, that was at Wembley. And then we went out to Ghent. and flipping Europa.
Literally the
Poor
following round. You know what annoyed me about that season? Yeah, that was the first season that I saw. Like I proper got to watch Bernardo Silva because he was at Monaco at them times.
Hmm.
Ooh, he cooked us. He cooked us good. He beat us up. Like, hey, seriously, when I was in the stadium for that game, listen, at 55 minutes, I was contemplating just drinking my Fanta and leaving. I was gonna walk home from Wembley, bro. Like, that's a long walk. I was gonna bop home because we were getting punched up. Hey, listen, we've got a favorable group. Seriously, like when we saw the pot and everything. Listen, Uncle Yaya with his hilarious pronunciation, Napoli. I love that guy was saying names wild, bro. The Tottenham. Yeah, listen, we have to make it out of this group top. If possible, maximum points would be great. Because I don't want to get none of the supreme big boys in the last 16. I want to go as far as possible. You know what I'm saying? Build some confidence and see if we can go. See if we can go all the way.
I mean, my big thing here is that I want these last two games, you know, match day 5, match day 6. Like I want that to be kids. I don't want it to matter. I want this settled early so that, you know, you're not having Harry Kane going 90 in a must win game 6. Like that's I don't want that stuff. I want to take care of business at the outset.
Yeah, I fully agree. Me personally, if we can get to like game week 5 even. You get to game week 5, we've qualified. We can bring in some play. Listen, we could do a madness where we could be like, all right, cool. Richarlison, freaking, I don't know,
Lucas,
Kulu. I don't know who that guy that you just mentioned. That guy can't be. even if we've qualified, he can't be started. But that man can be. You know, they can get a quick run out, and hopefully we get the job done quickly. Because this is gonna be a long season. People forget we got the World Cup in Christmas.
Yeah, so the games are even more congested. Normally, you get a 2-week break.
Yeah,
in between each match day for Champions League.
Week in, week out.
It's one after the other. Then you get a 2-week break. Then one after the other. Then 2-week break. So there's no rest for the wicked. We got to get it done, man.
Trust.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, there's. I just realised that Marseille. I mean, we have to crash it on Marseille. I didn't realise they had so many ex-Arsenal players.
Mate, that Guendouzi wanker.
Tavares, Guendouzi, Sanchez.
I want to yank his stupid sideshow Bob wig, man. Just yank it, man. The prick.
Well, we've got a player who can do that. So yeah, that's doable. It's doable. Are any of us worried about Conte's record in Europe?
No,
it's a bit up and down. You see, the thing is, people say they're worried about it, but I don't think Conte's record in Europe is that much of a stinker compared to many other managers in there. Like, how long has Conte been managing for? What, 15 years? 10 years? I don't know what the exact tenure is, but like, if we're talking big, we call it a while. But if we're talking like big clubs, it's probably been doing it for about 10, maybe 15 years or so. Like with the really big clubs, probably in between that bracket. And I seem to remember, you know, Champions League runs under Wenger, under Ferguson, that were just absolutely horrendous. European runs that they didn't make it out of the group stages. So, listen, Conte has managed to take Inter to the Europa League final with his supposed horrible European record. He's taken Chelsea out of the group stages, if I'm correct. Granted, he didn't take Spurs out of the Conference League group, but COVID messed that part up. And you know, that's life, isn't it? But honestly, I think this group can expel a lot of that nonsense about Conte not having a good European record. At the very least, we should make it to the last 16. At the very least, probably even the quarters. To be fair.
I think quarters. I think if we're talking about what is a successful Champions League run here, I mean, I think quarters. I think you win the group. I think you play, you know, whatever team, you know, who's going to be on your level. You know, I don't know, maybe we get lucky and like Celtic goes through or something. But something like that, you know, see what happens. But I think quarterfinals. If I'm talking about what is a successful run, it's quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Very doable. Very doable. All right, moving on, I guess, to the exciting, more exciting part now, I guess. we've only got a week left until the transfer window ends. We're quite active by the looks of it, especially with outgoings. Zarspers TV saying we need 2 more signings. He thinks we'll get another attacker and a centre back. But yeah, what are we thinking going into it? Obviously, we've been linked heavily with Malianovsky. We've got players leaving on loan left, right, and centre. But what are your expectations for the end of the window?
R.I.P. Tanguy.
Well, yeah, I
I'll
mean,
miss
he's
you.
already confirmed gone.
I'll
But
miss
He
you.
was-
he's going to crush it at Napoli. He's going to crush it at Liverpool as well.
Yeah.
He's
I
gonna.
can't wait.
He's definitely gonna crash it at Napoli. I can feel it, man. But second of all, I think he was RIP back in January. To be honest,
True.
he's not really been a part of this team for months. But I think with with the player situation, I'm expecting at least one more player to come in through the door. Really and truly, I think we're going to sign 2, but I'm expecting at least 1, and I'm hopeful that the player that we do sign is someone who can actually make an impact on this team. I mean, like proper impact. Like if it's a centre back, it needs to be a centre back that we can feel walks into this team and starts. If it's an attacker, it has to be an attacker that can provide the ample sort of competition and level that we need. So when they come into the team, there's not that much of a drop in quality.
Fair enough. Did you have any names in mind for centre backs or defenders?
I didn't, to be honest. All the names are just speculative. You know who I want at centre back, but we ain't gonna get him this summer. So I'd have to settle for an alternative. I don't know. I think maybe that fella from Frankfurt, coincidentally, in Dicker,
Yeah.
coincidentally at left centre back. That looks like that could potentially be a decent option.
Yeah, I'll take that. I think he's only got like a year or 2 left of his contract as well, so you could sign him for a decent fee and then potentially sell him on if we look to replace with our ideal golden goose, Bastoni. Zarspers TV saying get he for 50 million. That's who you're eyeing up.
So that's I want that for multiple reasons. Not only because I think he's good, and I think that he would provide a significant amount of a significant upgrade to Sanchez, which is what we're talking about. We're talking about our 4th center back here, and I think that he is not someone who steps in and starts, but he puts pressure on Dyer, he puts pressure on Romero, he puts pressure on Davis. And also, like as a separate point, he's currently starting in front of an American at Palace, and that's a secondary interest for my purposes. But I think that the more interesting thing is not really it's the attacker, because clearly we have one bench attacker who we trust, and you need another. And I think that I'm going to butcher his name. Malianovsky. Is that how you pronounce it?
That sounds right.
Yeah, Malianovsky. I think that the book seems to be that he comes in when Hill goes out, and that upgrade right there makes this team significantly more dangerous and significantly deeper, because Hill is not usable depth, right? Like depth only matters if you can use it. And Brian Hill, I mean, he can't play in the Premier League apparently. And like for the future, maybe cool, great. But the kid is not holding up clearly. And so, I would send him to Germany so that he can get on one of those, supplement programs, vitamin programs, get. I
think they're calling him Bundesliga tax programs out there.
Whatever it is that happens over in Germany, where suddenly very thin players become not so thin anymore. Whatever he needs to do to get to the size necessary, but he's too small.
He needs that Goretzka pack, man. That's what he needs. That
Alphonso Davies going from a very, very small winger to a very large left back.
Loaded.
That is.
Needs that.
But he's not usable depth. Yao's favorite Brazilian is not usable depth up front. So you're talking about Richarlison and Prayers, and that's not good enough. Like you do need that 5 for 3. So that's my interest. And also, if Harry Winks could find literally anywhere to go, that'd be great. literally anywhere.
Okay.
Liverpool
we-
apparently have some need.
I think we need another midfielder, personally. I think we need another midfielder, but I do get your point, though. I never really thought the right wing depth was like imperative, but anything to make sure that I don't see Lucas Moura touch this pitch at right wing, I'm all for it, man. And I do think we need to be mindful of how important Kulusevski is to this team, as we've seen in the first start of this season. Like, he's incredible. Like, he's so good. And when he doesn't play, I think we're already at a stage now where we're like, okay, this guy's a baller, and there will be a quality drop, but we don't want it to be as drastic as Lucas Moura, man.
Yeah, it's not good enough. Mora as right wing back because Conte's a wizard. Great, cool. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. But he's not that guy up front. And you need 5 for 3 up there.
For sure. Special mention to Kulusevski as well. Obviously, I think he was my man of the match against Wolves, and yeah, he is crucial. If Hill leaves, I think we need a replacement. Yao, you're smiling. I would say nicely there because you're I guess the good guy, the nice guy. What are your thoughts on what are your expectations of the window?
I actually don't think we're going to sign anybody. Now, wait, hear me out. Obviously, there's 3 players that are going now, but I think it's going to be very difficult for us to negotiate 3 players coming in. Maybe there might be, 1 and 2 loans. So we might be lucky in that side of things. If not, then for me, I've said it every single time we get to a transfer window. I keep saying it. Money, blood, fire talks. Yeah. I don't want to hear about waiting until next summer and all this kind of like go and spend 60 million and get Bastoni. Please. Yeah. That's one. Then look at your pockets and say, what can we scrimp together? Yeah. If you can scrimp around 40 to 50 million, I reckon you could get maybe 2 attackers on loan. Yeah. Quick things. Tell a club, boom, we'll take them on loan. Maybe one of them be an obligation to buy and make it happen. But we do need 3 players if those 3 definitively go out. I've seen people say Max Killerman. Yeah, it doesn't really move the needle for me. Kilimanjaro, same thing. It doesn't move the needle for me, but he is a decent player. But all in all, we have brought in 7 players. If I'm right, 2 of which you'd probably see as prospects moving forward in Spence and Destiny's Child, and then the other 4, one of them is more like a backup goalkeeper. The other 3 are very good bolstering pieces to the squad in Richarlison, Basuma, Yisen Basuma, and Perisic. Like, for me, you add 1 more top player to that list and get 1 more on loan, it's been a solid window. Because we managed to get rid of like Stinko. Bamadeli's still not talking to his father. That's why he's ended up in Turkey. If there's one thing I don't want to see, though, I definitely do not want to see Toby's estranged brother in Adama Traore. I don't want to see baby oil and look at my veins. FC. I don't want to see it.
Don't relate me to that guy, man, please.
Hey, you two, both of you do this. Yeah, look at my veins.
I mean,
Vince.
Traore is great because he's like he's like the Premier League's best NFL player. That dude's a running back. He's not a soccer player. I mean, football player, whatever.
It really is. It can run through people. Like I said, I think we gotta go. We've definitely got to go big on one target at least. Ideally, it would be, for me personally, it has to be Bastoni. And I say that because defensively, I think Davis has done a good job. Honestly, he actually has done a good job, even though I don't rate him as a player, but he's done a good job. But I don't like the fact that we're going deep into a season with Dyer, Davis as the main top three, of our Romero comes in and it makes it a decent defense, but could you imagine Bastoni in there? It would just be another level. I know some people would say it's unrealistic, but Inter Milan, like Barcelona, have no peace. They have to sell. So whether they sell this summer or they sell in January, he is going. Like they're gonna don't be fooled in a season from now. They lose like 4 or 5 players. Same with Barcelona. Like they have to sell.
They do, but he doesn't. The thing with Bastoni, that's actually like I deeped it yesterday, and it's sad. Is that right now it doesn't look like they want to sell him, and second of all, he doesn't want to join us.
He doesn't want to join us because he's
we're sort of hoping.
Red. He wants.
We're sort of hoping that like if he does become available, teams better than us don't come in. One, and second of all, we put the money down quickly. And give them no choice but to sell him to us. That's the only way we're gonna have to kidnap him.
You know how Bastoni comes? Yeah, it's either you give him super bread, which we're not gonna do, or you go on a title charge. Yeah, you go on a title charge, heads turn. But that can't happen unless certain men do their thing. My thing is, I know people are talking about what's it, Gehi, Hehi, or Hernandez, whatever you want to pronounce his name from Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Look, I think he's decent, yeah, but listen, this is gonna sound so rude. He doesn't move the needle for me in any way, shape, or form. Like, even if he comes in as our 4th choice centre back, him starting, I'm not gonna be there and be like, yeah, I feel confident with him starting. Like, I'm just not. Yeah, he doesn't strike me as a defender that I should be comfortable with. Right, I feel more comfortable with Kilimanjaro than I would with him.
But I feel like they're similar, Like I feel like I look at them. I think I remember discussing this with Tops. I think they're both good centre backs. I feel like Gay. I feel like he's the better defender, and I feel like Kilman is the better sort of ball carrier. I feel like he's a bit more assured in possession. You know what? If Spurs were to sign both of them, I actually wouldn't complain. But I do get where you're coming from in the sense that they're not needle movers for Spurs. When you spend that dough, like you're thinking, yeah, like it has to be like prime time. Like you have to be better than the rest. And Gay, I don't think that's the case for him, and I don't think that's the case for Kilman. So whilst the likes of Dyer and Davies may not have the same rep that these guys have, and may not have done it at their clubs right now for our current system, they're defending consistently well for the most part. So whoever comes in has to be a significant upgrade on the two.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I would say it's just a depth thing. Gehi or Kilman, they're just it's not a question of are they better than Dyer or Davies. It's a question if they're better than Sanchez. And the problem is that Sanchez is our floor right now. And if he's your floor when any of those 3 go out, like I don't know. I don't love that, as seen EG last game. I also want to point out that Skippy coming back is almost like a transfer in because we haven't seen him in a year or whatever.
Hey, nuts.
Yeah, no, Skip coming back is important. Like it's really important. Like we
need 4.
Listen, Skip coming back here. I know a lot of other fans don't really rate this guy, but last season, when he was fit and in the squad, I felt more comfortable. I felt more assured in what we could do, especially under Conte. Like, obviously he got injured, and you could tell Conte was frustrated because what Skip offers is a kind of an assurance to the back line, because he's a DM. Yeah, he sits, mops up, passes on. Now the problem we have is we're playing Hoisin and Ben 10, and what happens is the one that moves or the one that stays, it alters so much in a game that you can have a moment where both of them go and there's space for the opponents to get into. Whereas Skip wouldn't do that. Skip will always allow his counterpart to go and do the pressing, and he will do a little bit of cleaning up. I'm telling you, when Skip comes back into this full team, like proper fully fit and he's like proper integrated, I've got a feeling he's going to be one of the mainstays in this Conte team, and then it'll be him and whoever partnering him in the two, unless Conte decides to go to a 3-5-2. But we do need, like, looking at the team, we definitely need at least 2 more signings before this window shuts, for depth reasons, purely.
Agreed. And especially with Reguilon obviously going, Tanganga leaving looks us like it kind of points to us leaning towards a homegrown option at centre back. Like, I like Gerhi a lot, to be fair.
He's good.
But
I like him.
I don't think kind of right centre back or left centre back is a massive priority as much as I guess centre back. I much prefer when I see Palace defenders, like I much prefer Anderson in that role for us. Like if he was to come in and challenge Dyer at centre back, I mean, I have a soft spot for someone who's got a spray on him as well as being good in his defensive actions as well.
Same.
Which
what kind of line is that?
Has.
Somebody's got a spray on them. What's going on here? Spray on them.
I mean, what he did to Nunez was really funny. I'll give Anderson a lot of props for that. That was just shithousery of the highest level, and I appreciate that a lot.
I think if there's one thing I want to say about Spurs this season is that we do seem to be a bit more dirtier than we've ever been in previous seasons, and I applaud it. You know, I'm all here for the hair pulling, the slapping of the opponent's back head. I'm here for it.
They don't call it.
Listen. Man pulled another man's hair in the vicinity of the referee. The referee looked and said, "You know what, Charlie? I don't even like Chelsea. Play on." Yeah, and that was such a beautiful moment because we've suffered as Spurs fans and watched our team have our hair pulled by Chelsea bare times, and they go on to score a winner, Hasselbank, and Fassio's over there. Yeah, but now the damage has been done to them, and then the following week they went on to lose to Leeds. Beautiful stuff. I mean,
amazing.
Hey, the Premier League back, people. You know, football is here live.
Oh man, do you guys remember when Chelsea lost 3-0 to Leeds?
Oh yeah,
that was awesome.
It was beautiful.
It wasn't bad. But yeah, this is just summary in the transfer window as well. Conte did obviously say if we lose players, then we're going to have to replace them. So I fully expect us to sign at least one, but maybe and probably 2, especially if Tanganga goes.
Ideally, 2. Tanganga has to go, by the way.
Yeah, fair enough. And it's got to that time where we had to bid farewell to Goldberg because he's going to be attending the Big Six shortly. So thank you for coming on, my man. And
we'll miss your veins
over there, bruv.
And a black
after the oil and the veins.
Relax, tranquilo.
Baby.
But listen, guys, I need to jet anyway. But this has been good chat, and of course, I'll be listening to the last bit of this pod when it's out. Safe, peace,
rest,
peace, man. And with that said, let's preview the Forest game. Romero's apparently put himself back into contention. I think Skip might be back in trading. I guess it might be a bit too early for him anyway. But yeah, how would you line up for that game, Asa?
So I want to say first things first. The fact that Nottingham Forest have brought in what is it like 120 million pounds in net spend and are still not
about
very
30
good
players as well.
like I still look at that squad and I'm like, meh. But if Romero's good, then I guess I don't really want to have a right wing back, but I guess it's Emerson. And then you got Romero, Dyer, Davies, Perisic, because there's no reason not to go full bore. I'm ready for Basuma. I'm ready for Basuma to come into the squad. I want Basuma and Ben 10. And then your 3 across the top is the 3 across the top, with the caveat that if Son no-shows again, then I think it's time to start having the conversation that nobody wants to have. I'm not ready for it. I don't want to have that conversation now.
Loads of people are having it already, so
I don't want to have it yet. I'm a deep believer in my man Sonny, but if he no-shows again, then it's time to have that conversation where maybe he's not a locked-in starter.
That's
But
fair.
not
Who
yet.
does
Not yet.
Basuma replace in the midfield, by the way?
Højbjerg, obviously.
Cool.
I mean, look, like Højbjerg is he's good enough as your fourth center mid. Like if he's our fourth center mid behind Skippy and Basuma and Benton, like I'm cool with that. But if he's a locked in starter, I'm less happy. I think that he's just not a great fit with Benton. Like both of them like to get forward, like I was saying, like and he's not a great holding midfielder as far as I'm concerned. So it's just an awkward fit. He's a much better fit with Skippy. But Skippy's not here. So I think it's Basuma and Benton.
Yeah, I think so as well. For me as well, like I wouldn't be averse to seeing Basuma in. Sai said in the comments he'll probably come in for Bentancur. I'm not sure if that's what I would do personally, but I think just based on what Conte was doing in preseason, he was playing Basuma in that Bentancur role. So yeah, it will be interesting to see if he starts, if he gets minutes, whatever. I want to see Spence at least in the squad as well. Like this is a guy who obviously he used to play for this team. He's familiar with that level of players, even though they've pretty much changed the whole team. They're still more or less like a championship team. So if he's there as an option off the bench, even if we're like winning 2-3-0 with the 75th, 70th minute, then give him some minutes, get him some proper game time. Conte obsession with Pierre-Emile Højbjerg is as bad as Owens for Harry Stings. Well, yeah, rest in peace, Harry Winks. I think is his name. Just to say it properly.
I just want the 8 to be freed up. Like it's such a pretty number, and it's not being
so
used.
there's the Juve Saint Basuma. Almost forgot about that Instagram post. Basuma's a nasty guy for that. So he's gonna have that 8 freed up soon. But yeah, he's arguably our best midfielder. Score prediction from you quickly, Asa, and then I'll get Scott Hall's prediction as well.
I think 3-0. I think that there will be an early goal. You know, and then from there, I don't think Forest have the quality to really break anything down. You know, Lingard is fine. You know, he's a solid player. I'm nothing against him, but this is not a serious team.
You thought he was American, isn't it?
I did not. We thought he was coming here, but you know, Gareth Bale aside, you know, MLS is not that league quite yet. We'll see. But I think 3. I think 3, and if we could get Spence on the field, great. You know, I would love to do that, but you know, 3 is sort of my expectation here.
But yeah, again, like if Son manages to stink it out and not contribute to this 3, then yeah, Richarlison could be local against Fulham. Will be our game after Forest, and Fulham just lost to my local team, Crawley Town. So yeah, if Richard or Son can't perform against them, then
and Fulham have a meeting with the other North London team this weekend. So you know,
yeah, good friendly for them.
Yeah.
Nice. So, Yao, what are your thoughts going into the Forest game? Any changes to lineup?
I think Romero should be fit to come back in, and I think that will be the only change. I don't see anything else being changed. I would have liked to see Richarlison start this game to kind of send out a message, but I think Son will get one more chance, and maybe if he has a stinker, then he'll lose his spot to Richie for the Fulham game, but there's a possibility that he might not have a stinker. So I don't think there's going to be much of a change. Just Romero coming in, slot back into his position. And as for the scores, non-Forest are going to be up for it. Like this is heritage. This is English heritage football. Nottingham Forest versus Spurs. That is heritage. Their fans are going to be raucous. I think if we could get an early goal, it could be 2-0. I don't think we're going to run away with it. Honestly, I don't. I'll be surprised if we do. I think it'll be a tight game. I think it'll be a game where we have to take our chances to keep the crowd out of it, because similar to like going up north to Newcastle, if we let the crowd get in top, it's gonna be absolutely long for us. So I'm gonna go with 2-0.
Nice, man. Yeah, I think I'm gonna echo that. I think we might even concede against them as well. You know, I think they'll be lifted by the signing of Gibbs White as well as their like 45, 50 other signings. Yeah, the crowd, like you say, yeah, they're going to be up for it. I'm thinking a 2-1 win for Spurs, and we'll edge it. I think Kane will probably grab them both as well. But yeah, that said, that pretty much wraps it up. Thank you to Scott Hall and Asa as well as Goldberg for joining us tonight. Sorry, the worm. I'll get you by your NSO name. Thank you to all of you in the comments as well. It's been incredibly lively. We've got the NSO represented in there through Tops and Sai, YG Yes there throughout. Zarspurs TV, shouts to you. Be sure to see us next week in our stream. And for the audio, which is out every Saturday morning. But again, as for tonight, we are out. Peace.